We expect that Vladimir Putin will resolve our conflict with the United States of America by the end of this presidential term, part of which involves a special military operation on the territory of Ukraine. Naturally, we understand that this will happen through the triumph of the supremacy of international law, through negotiations with the United States of America based on the International Parliament following the outcome of World War II, considering that Ukraine illegally seceded from the USSR, meaning it has no legal grounds to be called an independent state, just like, for example, Catalonia. By the way, the paradox is that, for example, Catalonia had a referendum on independence from Spain, while there was no referendum in the Soviet Union for Ukraine to leave the Soviet Union. There were no such decisions made. If we look at this through the lens of legal language, that is, through a legal perspective, not through propaganda and fake newspapers that have been indoctrinating us for a period of more than 30 years. So there are definitely all grounds available for us to, and international law guarantees and upholds the concept of justice for all. Now, accordingly, the one who is just, that's the logic. The United Nations Security Council appoints the just ones. I am speaking in a very exaggerated manner, but that is the logic of the international law that exists. And in the United Nations Security Council, we have a permanent right to veto. This means that the United Nations Security Council will never adopt decisions that do not suit us, just like the United States of America. But here is the emphasis, that these two countries in the world are the founders of the world order and world law. For this very reason, not only because America is involved in the conflict on Ukrainian territory, we will have to talk and negotiate with the Americans from the standpoint of our superiority. Cancer, a high level from the perspective of security and geopolitics, caused by two factors: the establishment of international law and the possession of strategic nuclear weapons. These are precisely the two factors that will allow us to reach an agreement, absolutely for sure. The only question is when circumstances, the situation, and public opinion in Russia will reach a point of maturity to allow this to happen. Because this will be accompanied by reforms aimed at restoring, or as Putin says, strengthening sovereignty. These are significant reforms. There, purges of foreign agents mentioned by the intelligence service are necessary. The number of these agents exceeds 80,000, and there is much more work to be done. So we have not yet reached that point, but this is the location where the main focus lies. The road that we will achieve victory in special military operations and the overall confrontation with the United States, ultimately returning to the rule of law. And returning to the rule of law is always about stability, peace, and order, because only departing from law and order, both in everyday life and in the international system, leads to wars. As soon as they return to the law, wars cease. This is why humanity invented it as a right since the times of probably the Roman Empire,